Hey, it's Jeff.
Hey, and this is Chris, and today we're going to take a look at the latest trailer for Rage, id Software's next game. This is straight out of QuakeCon from last week.
Yeah, so basically Rage is a post-apocalyptic shooter, which might sound a little bit like Fallout, but it's a completely different direction, has a lot more racing elements, a lot more exploration, and it's a lot more faster paced.
And here's our first hint at the story/setting of the game.
Exactly, so basically Rage is set in a near future world where a large asteroid has come in and is about to destroy the Earth and basically cause doomsday.
Yeah, we're going to see kind of look at the aftermath from that here.
Right, so the headline says Last Ark Buried, and that's basically the governments of the world gathering scientists and engineers together to put them underground in these things called arcs so that humanity would eventually survive the impact.
And here's what that looks like.
Exactly.
Very Fallout-esque.
Yeah,
a little more colorful maybe, but
definitely. There's a very serious sense that it's almost the same thing. There isn't as much radiation or anything like that, but you do have mutants, you do have all these other oddities of life.
Yeah, we're going to see all that coming up here in a little bit here. Let me pause right here and mention one cool thing about the tech. It's always known for its very great graphical engines and things like that, is that with id Tech 5, there are no unique texture, or I should say everything in this game is one basically giant unique texture. There are no repeating textures unless the artist intentionally want to do so. Every single pixel is unique, which is one pretty crazy thing about the engine there. So
yeah.
You can see the amazing lighting.
They've got tiling text and streaming text
yeah,
that are
it's
really,
definitely
really
a pretty
interesting.
game.
It wasn't the end.
So basically what you're coming up on right now is Wellspring, which is the big major town within the first chapter of the game, within the wasteland itself. And Wellspring has a majority of the missions that you wind up taking on as you wind up progressing through the earlier parts of the game.
This looks like a guard. Here's more parts inside of the city. Guys running around, good old urinals.
And basically the bar where you're also going to get a number of missions and talk to a lot of people. Some of the other denizens like Rusty, who winds up getting you a lot of the parts for your buggy, which you'll wind up using to explore the wasteland and the surroundings.
And we'll see some footage of that coming up here in a little bit.
Exactly. And this part right here, if you actually rewind back a little bit, this is the entrance to Mutant Bash TV, which plays a very key role within the entire game, because not only is Mutant Bash one of the ways that you wind up becoming well known within the wasteland, but it also winds up getting you material, cash, and even sponsored by the owner of Mutant Bash TV, this guy right here, J.K. Styles.
Yeah, and I don't think he's wearing any pants.
No, he's not. That is a codpiece.
We're going to skip right past that real fast because I don't want to look at that anymore. So here we're going to see some of the basically montage of action in the game. Let me pause right here because you're going to see something kind of new to an id Software game. Usually id is just known for first-person shooters, but there actually is a fairly big driving element in the game.
Yeah, there's kind of a Mad Max or a Road Warrior kind of feel where you have the option to either engage in combat within your buggy or just get away from it entirely. But if you wind up killing people, you get not only rewards for that, but you also get possible material that you can then use within some of your weaponry.
Yeah, let's look at some of the indoor environments here, which obviously it has generally been known for. Some of the weapons, I don't really make out what this thing is.
Actually, this is a machine gun, but I believe if you go back a little bit further, you can actually see the wing stick, which is one of the unique weapons within the game. It's kind of a silent boomerang type of weapon that you can throw out and kill people from a distance. And if you're trying to sneak your way into a base, you can actually incapacitate people without them even knowing you're there.
So it's like Crocodile Dundee on steroids.
Essentially.
There's some more good explosion effects. Looks like a little hand pistol there.
Yeah. Just you wind up being able to build pistols, machine guns, crossbows, basically a lot of the traditional id weapons that you expect, shotguns, things like that, which you see right there. And even this subway setting, which is kind of a new place that they haven't really talked about. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to term it as, like Subway Town, like kind of New York meets the Southwest. And this is a mutant charging at you, so there's going to be a lot of action within a lot of corridors.
The giant tentacle on his arm.
Exactly. There wouldn't be an id game without, like, close quarters combat within hallways.
Yeah. So here's some more montage. This looks like a AK-47, I guess, kind of with a couple things taped to it, maybe.
Yeah, that's one of your machine guns that you can construct, and you're going to need it because you're going against all those mutants in the Mutant Bash studios.
There's a modified crossbow, I guess.
Yeah, that's a modified crossbow, and I believe that's possibly explosive tipped darts.
And then here is something kind of cool about the game, is that you're able to create gadgets or things like that. Jeff, why don't you talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, this right here is one of the sentry drones, which will actually search around your environment for enemies and engage them with its guns by itself. So you can actually get the blueprints for that and build them and have an army of them to protect you as kind of drones.
And we're going to see something else here that you can build in a second. In this sequence right here, here's a couple little mounted machine guns, I guess, that you said.
Yeah, you can actually build turrets and set them down and kind of have like your own little aliens moment where they're just constantly laying down bases of fire.
Which was one of the best parts of the director's cut of the movie, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Some more
they were wall to wall in there.
Sequence. Yeah.
What do you say? We just have to wait until it's done, basically.
Yeah, the game has no official release date. Let me go back to this guy here because he's huge. As all id games, it's when it's done. This, for me, was one of the most surprising parts of the trailer, though, because a lot of the guys look human-sized, but this dude looks a little large and a little pissed off.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they weren't even willing to talk about this, but like you're going to wind up facing different factions within the game: the mutants, the Marauders, the Raiders, and everything else. But obviously, they're different sizes and shapes to the mutants, and this is one that towers over the landscape itself.
Yeah. So there you have our look at the latest trailer for Rage. As always, the game's going to be done when it's done. But for more information, head over to IGN.com.
Rage!